You've built a room, brick by brick, year by year. You've constructed walls around yourself. And you call it safety. You call it stability. You call it being smart. But if you're honest, truly, painfully honest, you know what that room really is. It's a cage you decorated so well that you forgot you were trapped. Think about the last time you felt fully alive. Not comfortable, not content. Alive. That electric feeling in your chest, where your pulse quickens and every cell in your body says, yes, this is what I was made for. When was that? Last week? Last month? Or has it been so long you can barely remember? Because somewhere along the way, you traded aliveness for predictability. You chose the guaranteed outcome over the terrifying possibility. And every time you made that trade, the room got a little smaller. The ceiling dropped a little lower. The air got a little thinner. You didn't notice at first. Nobody does. It happens gradually. One skipped opportunity, one ignored instinct, one conversation you avoided because the truth might have forced you to change. And now you sit in this room, scrolling, planning, overthinking, wondering why your chest feels heavy, wondering why the motivation doesn't stick, wondering why you can set 100 goals and still feel hollow when you achieve them. It's because the goals were never the problem. The room is the problem. You keep rearranging furniture inside a space that was never meant to hold you. Let me tell you about a woman I once knew. She spent 11 years in a career that looked perfect on paper. Good salary, respectable title, colleagues who envied her position. But every Sunday night, her stomach turned. Every morning, she sat in her car for 10 extra minutes before walking inside. She told herself she was grateful. She told herself she was lucky. She told herself a lot of things that weren't true. One afternoon, during a meeting she'd attended hundreds of times before, she looked around the conference table and realized she couldn't remember the last time she'd had a single original thought in that room. She'd been running on autopilot for so long that the version of her sitting in that chair was barely a shadow of the person she used to be. She quit 2 months later, started something that terrified her, failed spectacularly in the first year, and she told me it was the most alive she'd felt in a decade. Not because leaving was easy, because leaving was real. It was honest. For the first time in years, her actions matched what her gut had been screaming. Now, I'm not telling you to quit your job tomorrow. That's not the point. The room isn't always a career. Sometimes it's a relationship you've outgrown, a version of yourself you keep performing because people expect it, a city, a habit, a belief about what you deserve. The room is anything that keeps you breathing but stops you from feeling your own heartbeat. And the door? The door has never been locked. That's the part that will keep you up at night when you finally see it. There was never a lock. There was never a guard. The only thing standing between you and the life on the other side of that wall is your willingness to feel uncomfortable for a while. Discomfort is the price of admission to your own life, not permanent suffering, not reckless chaos, just the temporary sting of choosing growth over repetition. You already know which room I'm talking about. You've known for a while now. You feel it in the mornings when you wake up and something inside you says, "Is this it?" You feel it in the quiet moments when the noise dies down and all that's left is you and the truth you keep postponing. So here's what I'll leave you with. You don't have to burn the room down. You don't have to have it all figured out before you step through. You just have to choose today, this hour, this breath, to stop pretending the walls are protecting you. Because they're not. They're containing you. Step through the door, even if your hands are shaking, even if your voice cracks, even if the only thing waiting on the other side is uncertainty. Uncertainty, at least, is honest, and an honest life, even a messy one, will always be worth more than a beautiful cage.